Microcampus was a period of great learning for me, and in this project, a synthesis of art, I would like to tell you about my journey. The figure you just heard was a flute solo from a piece of 动经音乐, or Dongjing music, which is a form of music here that was originally sacred, but now is becoming secular. Over the month, I have came to the conclusion that in order to gain insight on the music of Shizhou, one must consider the repertoire of Dongjing music, the vocal pieces that non-musicians sing, and the other aspects of Shizhou music life. You just heard a theme from one of the Dongjing musicians' repertoire. I have familiarized myself with the Dongjing musicians over the course of my research. Through doing so, I have learned about their repertoire and procedure of their rehearsals. Over the years, the Dongjing musicians have developed a diverse repertoire. I believe that it is important as well to recognize this, because it essentially redefines what Dongjing music is. I visited 2 rehearsals of Dongjing music and talked with Mr. Zhao once in a personal interview. On the rehearsals, other than hearing and seeing traditional music, I also observed much music from other areas. On the second rehearsal, I was given a chance to look over their collection of sheet music. Traditional Dongjing pieces included 原始腔, or primitive chant, and the 白字歌, or the bi-letter song. The first piece is hexatonic, while the second includes an interesting 4th degree that occurs once and only once in the entire piece. There were also songs from other regions, including 采花, flower picking, from Sichuan, which the theme that is playing right now comes from. One piece that I feel deserves special attention is 苍耳欢歌, or the cheerful song of Changshan, a famous mountain in this area, and Erhai, a gigantic lake in this area. It is by a certain Mr. Ye, who is the composer of our time. Though the music is still mainly monophonic, it contains rather interesting techniques, including a passage completely in consecutive fifths, like such. I believe this piece holds a certain significance because it proves the existence of a blend between traditional music and contemporary techniques. The Dongjing musician rehearsals were truly something extraordinary. The Dongjing music they play could hardly be said as actually being Dongjing music, because it's named after the Taoist scripture, and they hardly play music for the scripture. The rehearsals all have a very free and relaxed atmosphere, and to the musicians, Dongjing music is just a chance to hang out and relax. Watching the rehearsals really had an impact on me, for it gave me another view on music. As the musicians play, they reminded me of several attempts of my own at starting a music group. I was at first very jealous of the musicians for having so many passionate friends, but as the rehearsal continued, the jealousy turned into fervency. I reconsidered my ideals and realized that I should start playing chamber music again. I have always loved practicing music, but it has been because of the fact that I'll get better, and that the product will be beautiful. The Dongjing musicians have enjoyed the bad music, and in turn, turned it beautiful. This is perhaps what has kept them together for so long. Another extremely valuable experience was conversing with Miss Yang, with whom I learned a lot about the music lives of non-musicians. Miss Yang has collected a great amount of music that she has sung since her student days, and it was a real pleasure to talk to her and look at her songbook. Some of her traditional Bai songs in her songbook include 白月亮白姐姐, or White Moon, White Sister, as shown here, which she has taught me. What is interesting about this piece is its melodic construction and alteration in the repeat. The construction of the song is essentially 2 phrases repeated. On the first repeat, the beginning of the first phrase contains an interesting rhythmic elongation, like such. On the second repeat, another beat was added before this little melody, so that there was no metric alteration. Listen, however, and see how this melody in fact should have been notated with the same metric changes, just with an upbeat. Many of these Bai songs are about the courtesy and kindness of the Bai people. Other topics of Bai songs include love songs and those that depict the beauty of the geography. Some of these Bai songs are rather lovely, but not all of them are quite original. One of the pieces, 喜洲是个好地方, or 徐州is a great place, contains material directly obtained from 白月亮, 白姐姐. What is playing in the background right now is a theme from a hongge, a song that is related to the revolution or praising Mao. When Miss Yang was young, she wasn't allowed to sing traditional songs, so this is what was commonly sang. Another source of music was movies. Miss Yang and her friends used to go to movies, and on their way back, they would be singing songs from what they've just watched. These songs might be hongges or they may not be. Miss Yang also said that a lot of songs came from radios. Since hongge was composed mainly during Mao's reign, there can be a major difference seen between this piece and 白月亮白姐姐. When one looks at the melodic construction of 白月亮白姐姐, he finds a lot of stepwise motion. It is very different to this piece, as can be seen here. There are a lot of leaps in the melodic construction, possibly to signify the leaps China was making at that time. A great experience was learning 白月亮白姐姐 with Miss Yang. Miss Yang has a beautiful voice and was very fun learning from her.
白月亮呀，白姐姐，诚心说给小妹妹，我想和你吹耍对，实在口难开，开口又怕得罪那。不开口来兮不易，答不答应再随你，何必害羞你？
I observed some interesting other aspects of Shizhou music life at my time here. One thing that struck me as significant is how much of the younger generation is interested in traditional music. During the Dongjing rehearsals, a youngster joined the old man, and Miss Yang mentioned that both of her children know the tunes from her songbook. This is interesting because it reminds me of how little teenager is interested in Western classical music I know. During this trip, I also met an interesting instrument maker. He is the only instrument maker of his generation, and this is an area of music I have not seen before. He taught me some of the insides of instrument making, including the material used and prices. Some of the prices surprised me, like the erhu, which goes up to 6,000 yuan. I've heard several people mention what it was like in the past. According to Miss Yang, there used to be a theater platform in Sifangjie. Musicians used to go and perform, not only Bai operas, but also operas from other regions, or just instrumental and vocal recitals. Mr. Zhao said that he used to work in a theater and they performed quite a bit. The existence of Cang'er Huange reassures me the possibility of a contemporary Chinese classical music. The piece, though interesting, was still relatively simple and written in Zhenpu, simple notation. With this material, I plan on working it into some of my future compositions. What is playing in the background right now is an arrangement of Yuan Shiqiang for symphony orchestra by me. Over this month, I have learned a lot about music. I worked on music theory every day and learned harmony and counterpoint, and I gathered a large amount of folk material. However, I believe that the greatest lesson I gained from this experience are from the Dongjing musicians. It is hard to convey the experience of watching them rehearse with words. I loved the music they created, but did not know why. Then I realized that it was the fact that they love music and that they love being with each other.